During this era, most human societies were animistic, believing that objects, places, and creatures all possessed a distinct spiritual essence. Animism was a cornerstone of their understanding and interaction with the world. This spiritual belief system suggested every element of the natural world, from a towering mountain to a pebble, a river to a brook, a tiger to a rabbit, was imbued with a spirit. For these societies, spiritualism was a tangible experience, deeply integrated into their everyday lives. It influenced their existence, from food gathering to social interactions and rituals. This spiritual belief system permeated every part of their lives, leaving no aspect untouched. Their spiritual beliefs were incorporated into their artistic expressions and folklore. It fostered the creation of cultural expression, wisdom curated and passed from one generation to the next. Their cave carvings, pottery designs, and oral traditions display the influence of these beliefs. In these societies, the shaman's role was significant. They were not simply religious leaders, but intermediaries between the human world and the spiritual realm. They were healers, guides, and revered for their ability to communicate with spirits. Their presence was essential, providing understanding to their intricate spiritual world. These spiritual beliefs were not restricted to one specific region or culture. They were evident in the hunter-gatherer societies in Europe, shown in their cave paintings and stone circles. These beliefs influenced the early agrarian cultures in the Fertile Crescent, as seen in their farming rituals and respect for the earth. Even the Indus Valley civilization was not untouched by this spiritual tradition, their intricate city planning and pottery designs reflecting their deep reverence for the spirit world. As societies became more complex with the advent of agriculture, early forms of polytheism started to establish themselves. This shift marked a transition from hunter-gatherer communities to settled agrarian civilizations. The inception of agriculture necessitated the development of intricate societal and religious structures. As these societies developed, their religious frameworks became more intertwined with their physical environment. Aspects of their lives, including their daily routines and world perception, were deeply connected to the surrounding natural elements. The advent of agriculture had a profound influence on these societies, molding their societal structures, cultural norms, and religious beliefs. The divine entities these cultures worshipped often represented natural forces crucial to their survival and prosperity. The relationship between these societies and their environment extended beyond the functional realm into the spiritual, exemplified by their deification of natural elements. The correlation between nature and religion was evident in the creation of deities, symbolizing different life aspects. Fertility, for example, was a common representation, as survival hinged on successful reproduction. Likewise, deities personifying the harvest were prevalent. The notion of a divine entity controlling the harvest's bounty provided a sense of security and deeper understanding of their world. Religious practices varied among these societies, with one of the earliest examples being the Sumerian civilization in Mesopotamia. Their pantheon was integrated into their society, influencing their laws, culture, and world perception. Similar practices were observed in the Nile Valley with early Egyptian religious practices. Their pantheon, as well, was entwined deeply within their societal structure and reflected their world understanding. They worshipped gods that embodied the natural elements that sustained them. These examples highlight the evolution of human religious thought and its deep connection with the natural world, offering an intriguing look at this historical progression. Notable in Mesopotamia with the Sumerian civilization and in the Nile Valley with early Egyptian religious practices, these practices provide a clear illustration of this significant historical development. This period saw the construction of megalithic structures, such as Stonehenge and the passage tombs of Newgrange. These monoliths were not only architectural marvels, but symbols of mankind's cognitive leap. The immense stones, each one meticulously chosen, were transported over large distances, proving the extraordinary engineering skills of our forebears. The size and intricacy of these structures showcase the unyielding spirit and ingenuity of these early societies. These structures were more than just artistic masterpieces. Their precise placement and alignment suggest a deeper purpose. It's believed these monumental edifices were designed to align with celestial bodies, indicating an early grasp of astronomy. This knowledge suggests these societies must have worked diligently over generations to understand the cosmos. The precise positioning of these structures with celestial bodies indicates a profound understanding of the universe. These ancient societies observed the movements of the sun, moon, and stars with such precision that it still incites awe in our technologically advanced era. They were not just passive observers. They actively participated in the cosmic drama by building structures that reflected the cosmos. The concentration of these megalithic structures in Western Europe provides insights into the societal and cultural evolution of these ancient civilizations. These monoliths give us a rough idea of their spiritual beliefs and practices. They suggest a society deeply connected with spirituality, where the cosmos was an integral part of daily life. The construction of these structures reveals a well-organized society with advanced skills in engineering and mathematics. The massive scale of these projects implies an impressive level of societal organization and cooperation. These societies are believed to have had a highly developed system of religious or spiritual beliefs, and these structures were central to their rituals and ceremonies. The religious significance of these structures is evident in their alignment with celestial bodies and in the rituals that were likely performed there. These structures, which continue to stand tall till today, are thought to have had astronomical alignments and religious significance. Predominantly in Western Europe, these structures indicate a complex understanding of astronomy and a deep spiritual connection to the cosmos. The invention of writing, particularly in Mesopotamia, was a revolutionary milestone that fundamentally altered human civilization. This transformation changed human communication, fostered intellectual growth, and facilitated cultural preservation. Writing allowed thoughts, philosophies, and narratives to be conserved tangibly, creating an enduring legacy for future learning. This period gave us historical artifacts and records, including the documentation of myths, folklore, and religious practices. These narratives offer insight into the cultural fabric of ancient civilizations. They reveal the core values, spiritual beliefs, customs, and societal norms of their time, embodying the unique ethos of these early societies. Additionally, these narratives provide a deep understanding of spiritual beliefs and ethical codes, human cosmos relationships, and the perception of life and death. They reflect societal structures, embodying the power dynamics and social hierarchies of the time. This era marked the inception of recorded religious history, a significant transition in human civilization. It signaled the shift from an oral tradition, where stories could distort over time, to a written tradition that allowed faithful documentation and preservation. The Sumerian civilization was at the forefront of this change, pioneering advancements in writing, including the development of cuneiform script, one of the earliest writing systems. Notably, the Sumerians gave us the Epic of Gilgamesh, an epic poem recognized as one of the earliest known works of literature. This masterpiece, etched in cuneiform characters on clay tablets, reflects the religious and cultural beliefs of the era. It offers unique insight into the social and cultural environment of ancient Mesopotamian society. The Epic of Gilgamesh, therefore, is not just a piece of literature. It serves as a testament to the ingenuity and intellectual prowess of the Sumerian civilization, reflecting the religious and mythological beliefs of the time. The increasing complexity of societies led to the integration of religious practices with state functions. This was a shift observed worldwide. In primitive cultures, state functions and religious practices were closely intertwined. The tribal chief was the spiritual guide and the arbitrator of disputes. As populations grew, societies started to expand and evolve. The evolution brought an increasing diversity, not just in culture and language, but also in faith and religious practices. Societies became a melting pot of diverse faiths. People practiced different forms of worship and believed in different deities and supernatural beings. There was a need to align these diverse practices into a single framework. The state emerged as the natural unifier. The state began to play an integral role in integrating different religious practices and beliefs. Religion was the thread that bound people together, providing them with a sense of identity. It provided the moral and ethical framework that regulated society. As such, it played an essential role in the evolution of states. Rulers of these states recognized the link between faith and governance. They realized their authority could be enhanced if seen as divine. Hence, a narrative of rulers as divinities was propagated. These practices were prevalent in many ancient civilizations, especially in Egypt and Mesopotamia. In these societies, rulers were both political leaders and spiritual figures. They claimed divine right to rule, accepted and revered by the populace. In Egypt, pharaohs were considered gods on earth. In Mesopotamia, kings were intermediaries between the gods and the people. They performed religious rituals and built monumental temples to honor the gods. The divine right to rule was a concept deeply ingrained in the people's psyche. This intertwined relationship between the religious authority and the political authority of the rulers was evident in the early dynastic period of Egypt and in the city-states of Mesopotamia. The Indus Valley Civilization, which existed contemporaneously with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, exhibited signs of what can be interpreted as the preliminary forms of Hindu practices. This civilization emerged during the Bronze Age, a critical era in human history central to the evolution of modern society. Their societal structure was robust, their belief system intricately woven into their everyday life, indicating the significance of spirituality to their existence. Situated in the regions that we now identify as present-day Pakistan and northwest India, the Indus Valley Civilization was not just a mere society, but a system of human interaction that thrived in harmony. It was characterized by profound religious activities that significantly influenced their way of life. Religion for the Indus Valley citizens was not just a belief, but a way of life deeply embedded in their shared consciousness. Their spiritual life was vibrantly manifest in their daily routines, displaying their profound understanding of spirituality and its role in shaping their society. Among their practices, the ritual of bathing stands out. These baths were not just for maintaining physical cleanliness, but were deeply symbolic rituals signifying spiritual purification. Every immersion was a promise of cleansing the soul. The civilization also showed signs of early deity worship, notably a figure akin to Proto-Shiva, a significant figure in Hinduism. This deity symbolizes the cyclical nature of life, embodying the concepts of creation, destruction, and regeneration. Such practices suggest a rich spiritual life and a deep-rooted belief in the divine. The Indus Valley region, present-day Pakistan and northwest India, where archaeological evidence suggests a rich spiritual life, possibly including ritual bathing and Proto-Shiva worship. The civilization's belief system, deeply interweaved with their daily life, offers us a unique insight into the spiritual landscape of one of humanity's earliest civilizations. This period brought about a significant shift from small, nomadic communities to larger, settled societies. This change was a notable one, seen as a critical turning point in human history. For the first time, individuals and groups began to abandon their wandering ways, choosing to permanently reside in one area. This choice led to the birth of early cities and civilizations, which were no longer simple communities, but complex societies with established systems and traditions. This change in lifestyle impacted the way humans interacted with their surroundings, particularly in their spiritual beliefs and practices. Spiritual systems during this time were rich and diverse, mirroring the complexities of these rising societies. Beliefs and practices were no longer solely focused on survival, but now intertwined with societal norms and codes of conduct, seeking to explain natural phenomena. This shift in spiritual perspective marked a key stage in our shared history, with spirituality starting to shape societal regulations and practices. These practices were not restricted to a single region or group, but spread globally. Each society developed a unique religious belief system and worship methods. Despite the diversity, a common theme connected them all: to explain the mysteries of the universe and the human existence. These spiritual systems were not fixed but evolved with the changing needs and understanding of their respective societies. They began to incorporate elaborate mythologies, rituals, and ethical codes. These intricate structures of belief and practice eventually formed the foundation of modern organized religions. This evolution was not an instantaneous shift, but a slow process that took several centuries. Each generation contributed to, altered, and refined these practices, making them more complex and influential. The spiritual practices and beliefs of this era laid the groundwork for many of the world's major religions. They continue to influence spiritual thought to this day, shaping our understanding of spirituality, morality, and our place in the grand scheme of things.